If you're a new mom and you feel exhausted, guilty, and tired all the time, you're not alone. I feel exactly the same way. Today, I'm sharing the biggest mistakes that I made as a new mom and what I learned from them. I'm a new YouTuber, and here I want to create a space where we can grow together, help each other become more confident as strong women, and support each other. Mistake number one: breastfeeding struggles. So my baby latched at the beginning, not easily, but still he latched. But the problem was that I didn't have milk. I had a little bit, like a couple of drops only, and it was not enough for the baby. And he was crying all the time because he was so hungry. The doctor said that the babies after delivery can be without food for 24 hours, but not more than that. So I tried many times, it didn't work. There was a lactation nurse over there. She just showed me a couple of times how to do it, but she didn't really elaborate on that. It was kind of like, oh, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, whatever. So I kind of was so pissed and angry that no one could explain me how to do it right. And obviously, I didn't have time, energy to sit and like research on YouTube how to do it right. And at that time, I regret so much that I didn't take specific classes, breastfeeding classes in advance. When I was pregnant, I read that if you actually stimulate your breasts, then the milk will start like appearing. But it's said that if you do that, your uterus may contract and then you may have early labor. So I kind of was scared about it and I didn't do it. So if I did it in advance, I think by the time I delivered my baby, there will be more milk. Well, at the beginning, it's called colostrum. It's not really like milk. It's a very thick yellowish substance. It looks like you mixed milk with butter, and then it becomes basically lighter, lighter, and lighter, and it becomes breast milk. So when the nurse explained me how to do it and showed it to me, it worked when she was doing it, like the latching, but when I was doing it, it was not working. And also she was available for like a couple of minutes, only like one time a day, and then she was not there for the rest of the day. And it was so disappointing because I really wanted to breastfeed so much. It was my dream. The baby was crying and hungry all the time, and no one told me what to do. And then in the middle of the night, the nurses check on you from time to time, or you can call them as well. So I called one of the nurse and I said, hey, the baby's like, he didn't eat anything. I mean, I tried to latch, he latched, but there was not enough milk. It was like 2 drops and he's crying and waking up all the time. What to do? And she was like, the baby didn't eat for more than 24 hours, kind of like judgmental. I was like, yeah, that's why I called you, because I don't know what to do. And then she said, well, if you want, I can give a formula. I didn't want to give formula as a first baby food for my baby, so I decided to give another try. So I asked her if they had a breast pump because I read about it, and our pregnancy nurse advised some breast pump, but we didn't buy it, we didn't bring it yet because they said that you're supposed to pump after like 4 weeks maybe from the pregnancy, something like that. So anyway, she brought me a breast pump, Medela breast pump. I didn't know how to use it, so I don't know. That night, the nurse was not a friendly person, so she just rolled her eyes, just quickly showed me how to do it, and kind of like figured it out yourself. So I figured it out, and but no one told me how long shall I pump, what should be the speed, what should be the pressure, suction, and everything. So just put it on and started like pumping, and I thought like the longer you pump, the more like there is a chance that you can actually produce some milk. But it was not the reality. So I ended up pumping for 1 hour or 1 and a half, and my nipples were sore. It was so painful. It was so uncomfortable, and I literally pumped like 3 drops of milk. And then basically, when the nurse came, she said, "You're not supposed to pump more than like half an hour." I was like, "How am I supposed to know that?" I thought, I mean, you could have said it, since you know it, but she didn't. So there was like a couple of drops of milk from pumping. So I put a sterile glove and put like my finger on the milk and tried to give it to the baby to suck on it, because I mean 3 drops will not even go into the bottle. And then the nurse was like, "Why are you doing this?" I was like, so that he can eat. I mean, do you have any other, like, ideas? And then she just kept silent with a poker face. And then I basically asked for the formula because I gave up. It's not that I gave up, I tried everything I could, but like there was no milk, and the baby was hungry. So I asked for the formula. They brought me formula and Famil, I think formula. I gave it to the baby. He was so happy to drink it because he was so hungry. And yeah, and then he fell asleep finally. And at that time, I didn't know. No one told me. No one explained me. I didn't research myself much. But apparently, you need to keep your baby all the time near your breast, all the time. And the next day, as the doctor was like, I mean, he's not latching. I mean, he's latching, but not always. And I don't have milk. What to do? And the doctor said, well, you need to keep your baby like near your breast 24/7. And that honestly scared me so much. It was such a shock to me. I was like just feeling like I just had a 23 hours of labor. I didn't sleep because baby was crying. He was hungry. How am I supposed to keep him in my breast for 24/7 if I'm so exhausted? And I was also very scared to, that I can drop him while I fall asleep because I was so exhausted. I didn't know even at what moment I could fall asleep. And that just felt so impossible to me. And now, like, I mean, after everything happened and I know what I should have and should have not done. I mean, the doctor should have told me that, listen, it's not like literally like 24/7, but you need to put your baby near your breast like every hour or every 2 hours or so, or whenever the baby is crying for 5 minutes and let him rest, 5 minutes and let him rest. So I don't know why they didn't tell me that. So that scared me, and I stopped. I kind of was like, no, I can't do that. So I kept giving him formula, but breastfeeding was still in my mind and I really wanted to breastfeed. So when we came home, I continued continued trying like until the very end. So we bought the breast pump that is called Spectra One. I think it's honestly the best breast pump ever. It has several like options of suction, speed, and it's easy to operate. And at the same time, I still tried to latch the baby. So he was actually eating, but again, because I didn't have that knowledge that I should have latched the baby every hour or every time he cries. So I did it like, for 40 minutes in one breast, 40 minutes in another breast. And then like for 3, 4 hours, I didn't give anything and then try again. And that didn't work. That's why I didn't have milk. So I was supposed to latch my baby like every time he cried or at least like every hour. Then the milk supply would have stabilized, but it didn't. So in the end of the day, after like probably like 2 weeks, I gave up and I just continued pumping, and thank God pumping helped. I was pumping like 8 to 12 times a day, 30 minutes each. It was rough, but after I would say a week, I had amazing milk supply. So I reduced it to 6 to 8. Then after another like 2 weeks, I reduced it to 6. So I was pumping for 6 times a day for about a year, 30 minutes each. And then later I started pumping 5 times a day. So what I learned from my mistakes, milk supply depends on consistency, not perfection. Eat well, stay hydrated, and rest. Sleep every time baby sleeps. Stress affects both you and the baby, so try to stay calm. I know it's easy to say, hard to do. I'm guilty that I was stressed literally all the time about everything in the world because I thought and I felt I was failing, that I was complete failure. I could not do something that a regular mother, could do. It actually makes me feel like crying when I even talk about it. Skin to skin and frequent feeding actually helps your body to learn what baby needs and when he needs it. So it's very important to have a skin to skin contact all the time, which I didn't have. I was scared that I will drop him, that I will squish him, that I will be sleeping and like turn on him, and he was so tiny and fragile. And that was like my biggest mistake, and I really regret that I didn't, hold him more often on my breast. Because it was such an amazing feeling, but I was always anxious, stressed, um, felt like I was failing, and I was scared as well. And there was no one who could tell me or support me on, like, how everything's supposed to be done. Actually, I just read recently that many people hire doula, not only for actual like labor, but after that as well, because they have knowledge of a lot of things and they support you. They like help you with recovery, with baby and everything. And looking back, actually, if I knew about it, I would have hired doula at least for the first labor, 100%, and postpartum as well. Another lesson that I learned, there is no wrong or right way. Whether you breastfeed, whether you pump, or you give formula, as long as baby is fed and loved, this is what matters the most. You're not failing if it's hard. You're learning. Don't fixate on mistakes. Just learn how to let them go and learn from them. Mistake number two, no boundaries after birth. Those mistakes were bothering me for so long. So I let too many people to visit baby during his first, hours and days of life, and I regret that so much because I was just afraid to say no and be like rude. I didn't want any conflicts. I didn't want to fight because I was so exhausted and tired. I had a very long labor, 23 hours, and I didn't sleep the first night because, as I told about my breastfeeding story, my baby didn't latch. He was hungry all the time. So basically, I didn't sleep for like more than 2 days, and I was not in a position to make any proper decisions or respond in some particular way. So when everyone wanted to come and visit the baby, I just agreed. And then I thought that they will know by themselves that it's not a good thing to go and visit the baby when he's a couple of hours old, because he's fragile, he has zero vaccines, he has zero immune system. What if like someone will come with measles or covid? Like measles for newborns is fatal, it's super dangerous. And not only like a lot of people came, they didn't like put any covers on their shoes. They brought a lot of kids who go to preschool, who actually have really high like risk of having different kind of infections and bacteria, including measles. And it was so inconsiderate from their side, and but it was my responsibility to say no, and I didn't, and I really regret that. So where I'm from, we have this tradition, basically for 40 days you don't let anyone see your child. And that happens for a reason, because your child is so fragile. His immune system is zero. He's so like naked, and so fragile to any kind of virus and bacteria. And I wanted to do that, but then no one listened to me, and I didn't have like enough energy to push back, and I just agreed for. Yeah, I was kind of a pushover. I was just trying to avoid any kind of conflicts, and I just agreed for that. And why I regret it so much, and I feel so guilty, because I feel like I didn't protect my baby, and as a mother I'm supposed to protect my baby, put my baby first, and I didn't, and that just ate me alive for so long. um Even now I feel like that. I feel so emotional. But thank God nothing happened. Thank God the baby was fine. No one got sick and everything. But yeah, looking back to this experience, I would have allowed like anyone to come for 40 days to see the baby. I wouldn't allow anyone to kiss, touch, hold the baby. And all of them did that. And it made me angry, but I kept silent. And honestly, I was not sure why I did it, but now I know that's because, first of all, I was exhausted. I was just right after labor. I lost so much of blood. I had epidural for so long, and as you know, epidural has like very very strong drugs that's still in your body for a couple of days. I was tired. My body literally like created a baby. Everything was torn apart inside. I was bleeding, and I was not in a position to fight, push back, and everything. Another thing is that I always apologized for the way I wanted to raise my baby. A lot of people gave me unnecessary advices that I didn't ask for. Not only advices, oh, sorry, it's like a little fly. Not only they gave me those advices, they kind of pushed them on me, and I felt like it was so annoying because it's my baby. I know my baby the best, and I know how to raise him the proper way. And it was really like annoying when they were, for example, holding him and like wanted to hold him and just sat him in a sitting position, but you are not supposed to sit your baby until 6 months old because their spine and everything can grow in the wrong way. And they literally did it. And when I said like, oh, please don't do that, they just laughed at me that I'm too overprotective or too crazy. And I just kept silent. I tried like sneakily like take my baby as if like I have to ask for permission, I have to apologize for that. It was, I don't know why, I was just literally apologizing for the way I was raising my baby all the time. What I learned from those mistakes: not everyone has to visit. The baby needs rest, not gifts. Your baby's health and well-being comes before other people's feelings. Follow your own traditions and intuition. They were created for a reason. What I learned, the most important thing: saying no is not rude. It's a protection. It's a boundaries. It's a respect. So don't be afraid to say no. Protecting your baby doesn't mean you're controlling. It means that you're a responsible parent. And that's what I wish I knew as well at that time. Even talking about it now in front of the camera makes me feel so angry and sad at the same time. Like I feel like my heartbeat actually increased, and it creates a little bit of guilt as well. But I'm trying to work on it. Main thing is that I did what I could at that time, and my intentions were good. I wanted the best for the baby, and any mistake that we make, we learn from them, right? Only people who don't do anything, they don't do any mistakes. Mistake number three: expecting my husband to read my mind. I was angry that he didn't see how tired I was when I needed help. I expected him to just know what to do and when to take a baby. I kept everything inside until it built up into a resentment and anger. And later I realized that motherhood changes you overnight, but fatherhood, you grow into it. Also, men, they didn't carry the baby, so they don't have these, you know, physical instincts because they were not connected to a baby. They don't have mother instincts, so they grow into it. The instincts and like learnings come later, not the same as for women. I realized that we were both learning, it's just in different, completely different ways. And once I started expressing everything, things got better. So, what I learned from those mistakes: no one can read your mind, even the best partner. Communication is the key. They say it for a reason. If you don't say it, no one will know it. So, you should say what you need, how you feel, and everything else. Ask directly for help or for time to rest. Create a chore list and then divide it. Sit together and think what each of you can do, or when each of you can take turns in terms of diaper change, sleeping, feeding, I don't know, playing with the baby or cleaning or cooking and everything. And put that list somewhere like in the visible place. For example, stick it to the fridge so that everyone can follow it. Obviously, we didn't have such an organized, perfect way. We did it, but we didn't follow it thoroughly because, life happens. We both work full time. So sometimes he had calls, sometimes I had to go to the office, and we could not follow this list through like 100% perfectly. But over time, while doing the same thing, for example, my husband's task is to put the bottles in the dishwasher at night. He does it every day, and my task is, for example, obviously breast pumping, right? Because he cannot do that. Walking with the baby, I walk with the baby, and then we feed. We take turns as well. But then he goes to the office twice a week, so those days I'm just taking care of the baby fully by myself. So these kind of things we kind of grew into and learned with the time. We're still learning. We're still not perfect, but the main thing is that there is a progress in that. So be direct when you ask for help. For example, can you please feed the baby? Can you please change the diaper? Can you please watch the baby for 3 hours so that I can sleep? Can you please watch the baby for half an hour so I can go to the bathroom and take a shower? Be very specific because communication is everything. It helps you to become a team and create this flawless teamwork, rather than building up frustration and keeping everything inside. Mistake number four, I think probably a lot of people, not only moms, make. I constantly compared myself to other moms, especially on social media. They looked perfect, their families looked perfect, like they had family support. I didn't have anyone who could come and help me Their husbands knew everything. They were taking full care of baby, cooking, and everything. Their life just looked so picture perfect. And in contrary, my life was literally in a bed. I'm literally always in my breast bra with breast pumps on me, always tired, exhausted, anxious, piles of laundry on the background, a lot of piles of bottles, and I'm just laying over there, and there is no like picture perfect background, Pinterest perfect background, Instagrammable. Even now, sometimes I still, when I go on social media and I see those people, like, for example, I'll just give an example. 2 days ago, there was a Halloween, right? Everyone is posting their amazing, like, family Halloween costume pictures, doing trick or treating with their babies and everything is so fun. And I had to work that day, the full day. I had to move the studio. I work in a jewelry studio, so I had to move everything to another place, and I ended up doing it for like 10 hours, and it takes me like 2 hours to go to Manhattan from Long Island and then 2 hours back. So I didn't have trick or treat with my baby, and I felt like, a little bit sad about it. What I learned: social media shows you the moments, not the reality. Everyone's journey, everyone's support system is different, and it's not only different, it happens at a different pace. Every mom has struggles. It's just not every mom shows it on social media or to everyone else. I learned that I shouldn't measure my worth based on someone else's Instagram post. Your baby doesn't need a perfect mom. He or she needs a loving mom, a calm, loving mom who is there, who is present for him. I also noticed that comparing steals all the joy in life. What is important is gratitude. Gratitude brings it back. It's just like an antidote for comparing. So recently, I limited my social media consumption. There is a feature on the phone you can basically limit by, how much time you want to maximum like spend on social media. So I limited to 15 minutes, but of course, like, I break this rule sometimes. But honestly, it really decreased my social media consumption. Sometimes when we scroll, we can't like even notice how we sit there for like 3, 4, 5 hours, and the whole day is gone, and you did nothing but scrolling, getting angry over other people's perfect lives while yours is not. So now it's way less. I think I spend around maximum like 30 minutes a day, something like that. Not counting my work, because I also need to post for my work on TikTok and social media. I mean, TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, overall, I feel way better. I feel less anxious, and I wish I didn't look on October 31st on my Instagram and saw all of these things. It was especially when I came back home and my baby was already sleeping, and I didn't see him for the whole day. We missed Halloween, missed trick or treating, we didn't do costumes. And I was just sitting there all exhausted and tired after the whole day of moving and seeing all of those bright, picture perfect, happy family costume Halloween pictures. Everyone had fun. So yeah, social media honestly is so toxic, and I'm trying my best um to eventually, like, basically stop it at all. And final mistake number 5, I was getting angry over mess in the house all the time. So I was raised in a way, I mean, I think everyone who are from post-Soviet countries, from that region, I think we all were raised in a way that the house should be clean, because what people will say, when people can come to your house, if it's dirty, what they will say and everything. And it's just in my mind. I used to clean since I was like 6 years old. I think I used to clean the house, not because my parents made me. I just felt bad for my mom and dad, and I wanted to help them, and it was just a normal thing for me. So it actually grew into an anxiety. If like something is not clean, I was getting angry and anxious all the time. I felt like chaos meant that I was failing as a mother and a person. I thought if I couldn't keep everything together, tidy and clean, I was losing a control over everything. I also was so extreme. For me, it was either it's super clean or super dirty. There was nothing like in the middle. What I learned: so the mess is temporary. The moments are forever. Every sock, every bottle, every toy, every dirty laundry that is just like laying somewhere, it means that the life is happening here, that you have amazing, beautiful baby, you have amazing, beautiful family. And this is basically living. We're living humans, you know. It just means that really, like, your baby exists, your baby is so happy and so active, and you have so many things to do at home with your baby, rather than like living in a museum where everything was perfectly like clean and untouched, and it's just boring and, you know, and lifeless. I realized that one day the house will be quiet and I will be missing this so much. Embrace the chaos. That means you are raising a child, not running a museum. The mess will wait, but the moments will not wait. So honestly, I really learned how to let it go. So even now, when I'm filming it, I know it looks like perfect here, but in the background there are toys. There is like a blanket over there, pile of laundry and everything. But I learned how to let it go, because the main thing is, you know, to be there for your baby, the moments, the laughs, his steps, his you know, facial expressions, his new milestones. And now I don't see like the mess as something bad. I actually see that, oh, that means that my baby like ran here and dropped that bottle while being so happy running away from me, and laughing, cracking. That laundry means that he ate well, so, and of course he messed up his clothes, so I need to wash them, and mine as well, I need to wash them too. I really learned how to let go of the perfection of having like a perfect house. And this is a huge milestone for me, because I was always perfectionist about like cleaning and everything. In conclusion, motherhood is not about perfection, it's about being present. I made mistakes because I cared, because I am a responsible parent, and each one of them taught me a very important lesson. If you're a new mom and you feel lost, tired, guilty, please know that you're not alone. Each and every one of us feel the same way. Please know that you're not failing, that you're doing everything you can. As long as you love your baby, as long as your baby is fed and loved, you're a great mom. You're growing and learning and becoming a mother that your baby needs. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's not a weakness. I thought it was a weakness. I wanted to do everything myself, to be a superhero, but then I ended up being exhausted, tired, and angry all the time, stressed out, and my it was reflected on my baby. He felt it, and don't hesitate to ask for help if you have anyone who can help you, like your husband, if your parents. My parents can't because they live very far away. If you have anyone who can help you, just ask, because you cannot do it, and you don't have to do it all alone. They say it takes a village to raise a child. I'm a new YouTuber here, and I created this channel to help women to feel less anxious, less guilty, grow together, have a safe space community where we can support each other as strong women and mothers. If my story made you feel a little seen and understood, please subscribe and leave a comment, or share your experience, your mistakes that you made as a mom. I would really love to read them, because it will make me and other women feel um, less guilty, less anxious, and less alone. We're all learning together, one mistake a day, one beautiful moment at a time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.